Have you ever posted a question about how to improve your indoor rowing technique only for people to reply, "Do the pick drill, search YouTube," and they don't actually explain what the pick drill is, they leave it as a mystery? Well, hopefully this video is the one you find when you search YouTube, because I'm going to explain what the pick drill is, and I'm going to show you 4 other of my favorite drills that are going to lock in your technique, unlock your muscle power when it comes to rowing, and make you fitter, faster and stronger. And stick around to the end of the video where I have a bonus tip too. Make sure to leave me a comment below, let me know what you think of these, or if I've missed out your favorite drill, let me know what it is so I can make another video. Now I'm going to rattle through these drills, so if I go too fast, use the chapters below, and next time you're sitting on the machine, watch what I'm doing, copy what I'm doing, and it will help your rowing. So let's get started with the pick drill. Now the pick drill works on your technique from the back of the stroke rather than it being about the drive at the front of the stroke. And what I do is break it down into just 4 parts. You can add in a couple more, but I'll talk about that in a second. But I break it down into 4, which are arms only, and then arms and body, and then arms, body, half slide, and then arms, body, and full slide, okay? So I'll show you actually on the machine, because obviously it will make a lot more sense. So sit at the back of the stroke with a good posture, and if you want a good tip about good posture, wait until tip number 4. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna start off by just rowing with your arms. Pull your arms in and let them come out. Don't hold them against your chest, just in and out, in and out. Try to keep your wrists nice and flat as you pull in, elbows come through your sides, and chain height stays constant the whole way through doing this. Do this for 10 times, and then we're going to move on to the next stage, which uses our body rock. So arms away, rock forwards, and then rock back and pull in. Okay, and that's what we're going to do without any pauses. So arms, body, body, arms, arms, body, body, arms. You'll notice my legs are still straight. All I'm doing is hinging forwards and backwards over my hips, tilting forwards, and then picking up the initial tension of the stroke by swinging over my hips to the back of the machine and then pulling in. And now we're going to add in a half slide. So what you do is you get the arms away, body rock, and once you're in this position with hands past your knees and you're in that body rock, you bend your knees to half slide. So you've slid halfway down the stroke, and then you just push out, rock, and pull in again. Okay, so I'll do that slowly. So arms away, rock forwards, hands are past knees, bend your knees, and then push, rock, pull. Okay, so we'll do this in sequence properly. So into the front, half slide, arms, body, slide, push. Again, making sure that the handle height is constant and neutral the whole way through this. Do this 10 times, and then we can move on to the final stage of the pick drill, which is full slide. So it's exactly the same thing, except now you slide all the way into the front of the machine. Arms, rock, slide until shins are vertical, and that's your full slide. Now you don't have to break this down into its elements one by one, doing 10 of each. You can, of course, link them all together one by one and go through them all 10 times. So that means arms only, then body and arms, arms, body, half slide, arms, body, full slide. It's a little bit more complicated. That takes a lot more concentration, and there's a good chance you're going to get it wrong. So work, especially if this is something that you really need to work on, that posture and making sure that it's about the rock before your knees break, then do it 10 times of each. Okay, so 10 arms only, 10 arms and body, 10 arms and half slide, 10 arms and full slide before you start to complicate things, okay? And this isn't about power, this is about technique. So take your time, get used to the flow here, all right? That's it. That is the pick drill. Next, the reverse pick drill. Okay, the reverse pick drill. We're not sitting backwards on the machine. What it does is now we look at it from the front, because you'll notice I didn't talk at all about what was going as you were getting to the back of the machine just then. I was only talking about how you go forwards. This time we are talking about the drive from the back. And again, we break it into component parts. There's the very point of the catch at the front of the machine. There's the leg drive only. There's the leg drive and the backswing, and then there's the leg drive, the backswing, and the pulling of the arms. That's the 4 component parts to the reverse pick drill, or at least the way I do it, okay? So what might help here is, because what we want to do is work on the sensation of the handle connecting to the machine at the point when our feet connect to the foot plates, what you might want to do is nudge up your resistance or drag factor on your machine so that you can really feel the weight, okay? Because again, this isn't about power or speed. What this is about is sensation, about getting the timing right. And what I want you to do then is we're going to start off with that biting point as we come into the front of the machine. So sit comfortably with your arms out, and it's almost like we're kind of finishing off the end of the pick drill, is you roll into the front with arms straight, kind of forwards tilt, shins in a vertical position, and then just feel that grab. So you're really only moving a couple of inches. And you'll want to take this nice and slow so that the flywheel has a chance to slow down and you can really feel the weight of it. Come into the front and then work on pushing your feet into the foot plates as your fingers feel the handle bite into the machine. And you can notice here that my arms are still straight and I'm holding this forwards tilt as I connect. You do this 10 times, and once you're happy, you then add in the leg drive portion. And you'll notice I've still got this forwards body rock and my arms are still straight. Those 2 parts to this are vital, that as you connect your feet to the handle, that you are in a forwards tilt with straight arms. So into the front, drive, into the front, drive. And if you put too much power here, what happens is you recoil, and we're not there yet. So just work on that sensation of your feet connecting to the handle and driving with your legs. And now we can add in the backswing. Now you push, keep the arms straight, but you add in this backswing. Into the front, drive, backswing. Into the front, drive, backswing. And if you're doing this at a slow enough stroke rate and you have increased the resistance, you will really feel the weight of the machine as you do this. And hopefully, as long as you're keeping your arms straight and the forwards tilt, your backside will feel a little lighter on the seat. And once you've done 10 of these, finally, you can pull in your arms at the back. Go into the front, drive the legs, swing the back, pull in the arms. And then you'll work on doing this 10 times. And then you can go right back to the beginning again, work on that initial bite, that moment at the front. See, because I'm not letting the flywheel slow down enough, it's a little bit too loose, and I'm finding myself going back. So I'll talk to you for a second to let my flywheel slow right down. And now I can get that bite here, I can feel it, because the flywheel's now nice and slow at high weights or high resistance. And then leg drive, and then leg drive and body, and then the full stroke. So again, you can work on each part of it in sequence. Do that 10 times if you want. So there we go. That is the reverse pick drill. Okay, number 3 is the pause drill. Now, I'm not actually a big fan of the pause drill for one big reason, and that is that I see people incorporating this into their actual stroke, and that's a big no-no. Yes, on the water, there is something to be said for holding at the back of the stroke to let the boat glide through the water, but on a rowing machine, if you pause at the back, all that happens is the flywheel slows down, you lose time. What's the point in that? So, this pause drill is just so that you can analyze your stroke and make sure that you are in the right positions. So if you're someone who's just working on your technique, who's trying to get things right, this is the perfect drill to do. However, once you get used to technique, stop pausing, right? That's my safety warning over here. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna row a stroke normally, but we're gonna start off by pausing at the back of the stroke. And once you get here, I want you to just look at every position in your body and analyze. So let's start at your toes and your feet and say, what's happening here, right? My toes are pointing towards the front of the machine. They're not flicked back against the foot straps. That's a good start, okay? My hands have the handle up at sternum height. My wrists are flat, my elbows are through, and I feel like my posture is okay here. My legs are down, and apart from the fact I'm looking all over the place, my head was looking straight at the monitor. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is a good position for me to have finished the stroke. Then I'm gonna take another couple of strokes just to kind of flush that out of my memory, and next up, we're gonna stop at the front of the stroke. So come into the front, and don't worry if you bounce a little bit back there like I did. You just stop here and you think, right, what position am I in? Are my shins roundabout vertical? Yes. I've bounced back a little bit, but roundabout vertical. Are my heels mostly down? Yes, they're up a little bit, but not enough to cause me concern. Is my handle at a nice neutral height in front of me? Not down at the bottom, obviously not up, but certainly not scraping off the bottom. Yes. Are my arms straight? Yes. Are my fingers hooked over the handle? Yes. Am I looking straight at the monitor? Yes. Do I have a body tilt forwards? Yes. Therefore, I'm quite happy with this as a catch position, and I drive out again. So that's 2 analysis points, and that's all of the things that you can be thinking about. And then the last one is right before you bend your knees, okay? So, right, and then I just naturally flex my knees up there, and that's the point where I wanted to stop, because I want to analyze where I am. My arms are straight out in front of me, the handle is well past my knees, and I'm in the forward body rock at this position, fingers hooked over the handle. So I know that all I have to do here is bend my knees in order to come into the front of the machine, and I'm already in the right position. It's not like I'm going like this and stopping, and then as I travel to the front of the machine, I have to somehow get the handle up and over my knees. My arms have to somehow get straight, and I also have to fix that forwards tilt as I come forwards. And this is where inconsistency and power leaks and everything comes from, because I'm all over the place at this point. Who knows how this next stroke is going to develop, okay? So pause in order to analyze where you are within your stroke, but once you're actually rowing properly, it's about flow. You do not want to be in a position where you are coming forwards and pausing at the back. Like I said, it's okay in a boat, but all you're doing on a rowing machine is wasting time. Don't waste your time. So 3 tips down, 2 to go. And remember, I've got that super secret one right at the very end of the video too. This next one is about posture. Now, in the very first drill of this series, when I was talking about the pick drill, I said about have a good posture at the back of the machine, but I didn't exactly explain what that was. And here's the difference, okay? So if you just sit slumped, almost like you're watching TV or whatever, your hips are pointed back, everything's kind of rolled and a bit squished at the bottom of your back down here. This is an example of a not very good posture. And what you really want to be in is more of a powerful up posture. We're not talking about the military here, you're not like completely bolt upright, but the difference between being slumped and soggy and up and powerful is really just about posture and sitting up. And the technique kind of tip cue that I use here is just imagine you've been shouted at for slumping at the dinner table, okay? So I can hear my mum's voice saying, John, sit up at the dinner table, every time I'm sitting like this, and I kind of go, oh, okay. So if I'm slumped, I kind of imagine my mum saying, sit up, John. And I kind of sit up. And this now allows me to be in a good posture for tilting forwards and backwards as I come into the front of the machine and at the back. So when you go back to that pick drill again, what I want you to do is as you start, and you're sitting right at the back, you're about to start, you think, oh, hang on, my posture's not very good. And imagine you've just been shouted at for having poor posture or sit slumping at the dinner table. So you sit up and now you're ready in that perfect position to start pulling your arms in. And then hopefully by the time you come into the front and come to the back again, if you can hold that good posture, you don't have to think about it again. But if you suddenly realize, oh, hang on, I've slumped down again, then just think about sitting up at the dinner table, all right? Now, the next tip that's coming up is going to cover one of the main causes as to why that posture is so bad and a great way to stop it happening. Okay, so some people just do have bad posture and need to think about sitting up a little bit more, but there is one major cause of the back slumping and the knees popping up that I want to talk to you about and how we can fix it, all right? And that is the foot straps. All the way down here, causes all this down here. And that's because when people are rowing and they get to the back of the stroke and then they tug tug on the foot straps in order to pull themselves forwards again, well, you can see exactly what happened. My knees popped up, my hips are now rolled backwards, and I'm in a terrible position when it comes to coming into the front of the machine, getting into that forwards tilt with arms straight in a good posture, ready for the next stroke. So you come into the back, you tug, and I've now got to go forwards, and this is losing power. It's making me tired. It's going to be all over the place. Cats will marry dogs and just the world will end, all right? All because you're tugging on the foot straps. How do you fix this then? Well, the simplest thing to do is to take your feet out of the foot straps and row. But I don't want you to do that yet, because therein lies you falling off the back and landing on a treadmill behind you. So if you get your straps, push your thumbs out, flick your toes up, okay? That will loosen them off a fair bit, okay? You can see all the movement I've got between my feet and the strap right now. And what this means is that I can row with my feet effectively out of the straps. I can practice not tugging on the straps in order to get me to the front. But if something goes wrong, I can catch myself before I fall off the back of the machine, okay? And so when you're starting to do this, give yourself this little safety net of the straps being very loose rather than having your feet entirely out of them, all right? Now I'll do this while I show you what to do though, because you have to think, well, how do I do this? And it's all about, all of the technique stuff we've talked about up until now is leading up to this one drill where it's about your body positions. It's about how you're recycling movement in order to move your body to the front of the machine. So this is why the pick drill is actually the most important out of all of them, because this is about how you move your body towards the front of the machine without pulling on the foot straps. Because if we come into the back, when I get my arms away, the momentum of my arms away and then sitting up at the same time, dinner table, causes my body to rock forwards. And then because of this mass that's already moving forwards, when I bend my knees, I just roll to the front of the machine. Now the Concept 2 does have a slight downward rake as well, which helps with that. But you come to the back, arms away, forwards tilt, and you roll into the front. Okay, now remember, this isn't a party trick or a CGI. My feet are out of the straps and I can get myself to the front of the machine by recycling that power at the back, arms away, forwards tilt, then knees. But we're just talking about going to the front. What stops you from falling off the back of the machine? And this is about the sequencing of your drive and making sure that your legs are all the way down and all of the power goes into the machine. If you can come into the front, push, swing and pull, what happens is that your leg drive finishes, you see I almost came flying out then. Your leg drive finishes about here and then your back swings into this finish and the arms pull in. It's like it goes, all three of them go really quick together. But the point is that all of the power, the momentum from your legs, that force is going into the machine rather than sending your body backwards without going into the machine. Does that make sense? So every single ounce of energy from my legs is going into the flywheel. And then that backswing, because I'm connected to the handle, remember that's why we're working on the reverse pick drill, the backswing also, all that power goes into the flywheel and then I'm pulling into a finish. You then tense your core a little bit to kind of soak up any little bits of inertia that's sending you backwards, but you can easily row with a good amount of power, push, swing, pull, and there's very little momentum left that isn't going into the flywheel at the back of the stroke. So I don't need to flick my feet up against the straps in order to catch me at the back. So that was 159 pace doing it just then while talking away to you, completely out of the straps. And the added bonus of that, the real cherry on the top of all of this, is that by working on rowing with your feet out of the straps and making sure that all of the force is going into the flywheel rather than sending you off the back of the machine, then there's so much more power going into the machine. When you come into the back and you're going so fast and it's not going into the machine and you have to catch yourself with your feet, okay? So you come out and you're like, oh, catch by flicking your toes up. all of the power that's sending you backwards that you have to stop by flicking your toes up is power you're not putting into the machine, okay? So if you can drive in, all of the power from my legs, my back, and my arms is going into the machine, okay? And that's why rowing with your feet out of the straps is perfect when it comes to putting power into the machine. And also, because I'm not able to flick against the straps and then ruin my posture, it also tidies up your posture as well, okay? So that's probably the longest tip there because it's one of the most important because it covers so many things. But that's it. That's all 5 of the perfect drills that I suggest when trying to improve your rowing technique. But what about that last bonus tip? Okay then, one final secret sausage tip, right? So far in the drills, I've been talking about handle height and trying to keep it at a neutral height, not too high, not too low. Why is that? Well, because quite a lot of people, and I did this at first when I started, think that on a rowing machine you need to tap down as you come to the front, and then you lift the handle up as you start the stroke, okay? Now on the water rowers, yes, they need to practice tapping down because they've got an oar to get in and out of the water. But they are very good at holding that forwards tilt as they bring the handle up. What happens to a lot of new people is they come forwards and their back opens up too soon because of that raising of the handle, and they lose that back power. And there's so much power to be losing. So what you want to do when you're starting off is to keep your handle and the chain at as constant a height as possible. And the way I suggest to do that is to imagine you're passing the handle underneath a pane of glass, a sheet of glass, okay? So really thin window you're going under. We're not talking about like a huge big table, just a thin window. So you come into the front and then you drive and then you relax. And the whole point here is that you relax enough for the handle to go underneath the sheet of glass, and then you slide into the front again, and all you're doing is passing the handle up and over 3 millimeters of glass here. The handle and the chain should stay at a pretty consistent level throughout the stroke, and that way you can really lock in positions stroke by stroke and make sure that you are not opening your back too soon, not pulling too soon, and not causing power leaks due to inconsistencies. Okay, so there we go. That's my 5 tips and the 1 sneaky bonus tip. I do hope that you enjoyed them. Please do incorporate them into your rowing, whether you use them as a warm-up or a cool down, or you could even do some of these during rest intervals if you're doing interval workouts. If you do these, you will get tighter when it comes to your technique. You will get better at putting the power into the machine, and you will become fitter, faster, and stronger as a result. So if you have any questions, please make sure to leave them in the comments below, or just get in touch at info@rowalong.com. If you want me to look at your technique, I will do a review of your technique for free if you send me a video, and I will help you along the way. And remember, I have loads and loads of other videos up here. I've got all of the RowAlong workouts, a whole bunch of technique videos, including the one with the exercise ball that you put behind the chain guard at the front in order to help you with that handle height issue. So make sure and watch this one next. Until the next video, please take care of yourselves. Row well, be well, bye-bye.